This is the Hollywood moment that NASCAR fans have been waiting for. What happens when you combine the best of NASCAR's past and present? Tom Cruise is known for his roles in many blockbuster movies, but one of his most iconic performances was in the NASCAR movie Days of Thunder.
You want to talk? What, about how I'm going to run? Sure. About how you managed to live as long as you have.
But have you ever wondered what it would be like if Joey Logano was in such a NASCAR movie? Well, wonder no more. Last week, the world got its first taste of what it would be like if Joey Logano starred in a NASCAR movie, and it's pretty darn exciting. While you're watching the video, please subscribe to NASCAR Today to get the latest news, updates, and gossips delivered straight to your feed. NASCAR racer Joey Logano has had a fantastic 2022 season. The driver for Team Penske has had nothing but positive developments to share ever since the first race of the season. This year, Logano has accomplished a lot, from winning the opening race of the season to securing the trophy for the 2022 Cup Series to the birth of his daughter Emilia. With the new NASCAR season still a couple of months away, two-time NASCAR champion Joey Logano is indulging in some off-track racing. He just recently posted a tweet that, in some ways, memorializes a famous moment from a well-known NASCAR movie. However, rather than doing it on a racetrack like in the movie, he did it in what appeared to be an indoor football field. In the final segment of the cult classic NASCAR film Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise's character and his crew chief engage in a foot race with each other. Decades later, Joey Logano and his crew chief attempted to replicate the exact same thing. But perhaps they forgot to do it at Phoenix Raceway when he was crowned the champion. They ended up doing it later at a football ground. Logano tweeted, "Remember the final scene from Days of Thunder? Paul Wolf and I did our own driver versus crew chief foot race last week in Nashville, 100-yard dash." Joey Logano has won the Cup Series championship for the second time in his career. Having said that, it was by no means an easy task. Especially noteworthy was Logano's debut race of the year. In one of the segments of Race for the Championship, Logano discussed one of the most difficult choices he had to make in the time leading up to the Busch Light Clash. Due to the proximity of his race and his daughter's due date, he had to make a difficult choice between the two. In the most recent episode of The Bobby Bones Show, the driver for Team Penske described in detail the thoughts that were going through his head. He said it was hard because it's like the worst spot. It's good and bad, right? Because you're about to have a great moment with the birth of your third child, our first daughter. We're racing in LA. We live in North Carolina, so you're all the way across the country. Furthermore, he shared that he had thought about every detail. He revealed that, according to his calculations, it would have taken him at least 8 hours to reach home from LA. Moreover, if he had to travel back, he may even miss the race, which means there was no point in flying to LA in the first place. However, Logano soon figured out a way to get out of this rut, and that too a smart one. The hardest part for Joey Logano was to arrive at a decision, and to be able to achieve that, Logano did what any smart person would do. He said, "And so I did what any smart husband would do, and said, 'Honey, you tell me what to do.' And so that's what worked out." It was a tough spot for the 2022 Cup Series winner, because as a driver, he has a responsibility towards his family as well as his team. Explaining how his wife helped him make the right choice, Logano said, "She said, 'You know what, when you leave to go out there, you're there. You're fully committed. Go racing.' And she was like, 'I'll be fine.' And fortunately, Logano and his wife's plan planned out perfectly. After an outstanding regular season, Joey Logano capitalized on his early victories in the playoffs to push him to the championship. When he arrived in Phoenix, he already had everything in order, giving him an advantage over every other team in the competition. At the playoffs, the driver for the Team Penske secured the pole position, and he continued to maintain his confidence that he would win the championship. He even justified how he and his team had all the additional time to plan for the last race, while others were busy trying to secure themselves into the championship four. When the day of the race arrived, Joey Logano effortlessly drifted into the distance, only being passed by drivers who were not in the playoffs once or twice during the entire race. Meanwhile, the Watermelon Man, aka Ross Chastain, pushed Chase Elliott out of the way and into the wall in his pursuit of the Team Penske driver. Chastain, on the other hand, was never able to get ahead of Logano and catch up to him before the conclusion of the race. Logano then crossed the finish line to clinch the 2022 Cup Series championship. As a result, he joined an exclusive group of active drivers with multiple championship titles. Will Joey Logano's magical run be able to continue in 2023 if he successfully defends his title? Joey Logano is now tied for 28th place on the list of all-time NASCAR Cup Series victories, with the accomplishment of winning 31 races in the series since making the switch to full-time Cup competition in 2009. However, just 4 of the drivers that are ahead of him in the standings, namely Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, and Brad Keselowski, will be active full-time competitors as of the year 2023. Only Keselowski, among this bunch, got his start in Cup later than Logano did, even though it was only by a year. Because of this, Logano, who at the age of 32 should be considered to be in the middle of his career according to the norms of the NASCAR Cup Series, has the potential to rise considerably higher on the win list, given that the vast majority of the drivers who are now ahead of him will never race again. It is realistic to predict that Logano will at least double the number of victories he accumulated in his first 14 seasons of racing if he continues to compete for the next 14 years, which is a scenario that is entirely believable when you take into consideration that he would only be 46 years old at the end of this run. So Logano would have 62 Cup Series triumphs and would be ranked 10th all-time, provided Kyle Busch, who presently has 60 wins, has at least 3 more wins in him, and no Cup newcomer advances to victory lane 62 times or more in the next 14 years. Therefore, Logano finishing his Cup career 10th on the list of all-time winners seems likely to be the worst-case scenario if all goes according to plan, and he is able to just reproduce the success he had during the first half of his Cup career. And of course, who knows how many more championships Logano might claim between now and when he hangs up his driving helmet. As it stands, Logano's championships in 2018 and 2022 make him one of only 2 active drivers to climb NASCAR's highest mountain on multiple occasions. Logano is also the first driver to win his second or more championship with a crew chief who also had previously won a Cup title. Over the last 3 years, Logano has adapted to the way Paul Wolfe operates a race team. They seem to have thrived and help each other to look at situations in a variety of ways, and then determining the best course. So, is Joey Logano capable of winning consecutive titles, a feat that has never been accomplished by an active NASCAR driver? Let us know in the comments section. And if you want to see more videos like this, all you gotta do is hit the like and subscribe button. Then you'll be sure to get the latest uploads right into your feed. We have plenty more great content coming soon.